Hello. Didn't see you there. Dr. Patterson McNutt here, world-renowned Hamiltonologist and garage sale expert. I was busy just diving into the pages of my newest finds, a little gem I picked up in upstate New Jersey called Burr's Words. That's right. This is the actual private diary of Aaron Burr. One thing I found very interesting as I was diving through the pages was in a journal about Burr's personal life, there's one character that appears almost as much as Burr does. That character is none other than the first Secretary of Treasury, Alexander Hamilton. Let's take a look at one of those initial interactions between the two. Here we go. 1776. After a long day of work, I stopped into the tavern to enjoy a pint. A young man burst through the door and frantically demanded an audience, needed my help with an issue. I said, "Sure, of course, young man. Sit, have a drink. What can I help you?" He goes on, he says, "Mr. Burr, sir, I've heard about your reputation. He's going to my old alma mater, Princeton, and trying to strive to be much like me, being a very young graduate of Princeton, he ran into a bit of an issue. He needs some help. Apparently this young man also has a hot head and a short fuse. He hauled off and hit a very important person, the bursar, the guy that pays the bills at Princeton. So he asked, how did I do it? How did I make it through Princeton? Well, I was an orphan at a young age. He lit up. He tells me that just like me, he was an orphan. He was born in the Caribbean. His mother and father were never married. Mom died when he was young. Dad took off. Couldn't go to school. He wound up working at a trading charter much of his early days. And it was that work and the writing that he did there, those men in the Caribbean helped to sponsor him and send him to the colonies to get a further education and start his own life." A little bit of an inspiration story there. It seems like Burr was a little bit inspired by this young upstart, despite his kind of rough around the edges, hot-headed temper. But it goes on further. Here's an entry from September of 1776. The British have landed in Manhattan. Colonial Continental troops are being surrounded and they need our help. We were called in to come in and save Washington's regiment from the grasp of the British. Well, after we evacuated and moved out, lo and behold, guess who I saw? That same young upstart that busted in my pub earlier this year, Alexander Hamilton, serving at the right hand of George Washington nonetheless. This kid has got to be blessed. More revolutionary activity, Revolutionary War. Man, it's amazing stuff. 1783, law school. Well, the war's over. What do I do now? I guess I'm going to go ahead and become a lawyer. So my first day of law school, very exciting and very disappointing. Turns out, despite my best efforts, I'm in class again with another young man, Alexander Hamilton. I cannot get away from this kid. Goes on to write a little further. The evening of Friday, August 1800s. It's hard to make out the date. There was a knock on my door on past sunset. When I opened it, lo and behold, there stood Alexander Hamilton, in need once again, hat in hand. "Mr. Burr, sir, I need your help, sir. What can I do? I need you to help me." Well, a little backstory here. It turns out at this time, Alexander Hamilton had become a lawyer just like Burr. Burr, according to Burr and public thought, was the better lawyer, but somehow, some way, Hamilton became the lead lawyer in America's first murder trial. So Burr writes, he comes to my door. He says, "Burr, you got to help me. You are the better lawyer. We both know that you're the better lawyer. I cannot do this on my own. Please work with me to defend Mr. Weeks in this trial." Burr apparently never could say no to a kid in need. Agreed to help. They worked together as co-counsel, and in the turn, Mr. Weeks was acquitted of his crimes and set free. There's a couple that mentions a few things. Hamilton, once again, knocks on the door, wants Burr's help. Writing the Federalist paper to defend this new Constitution. It's in jeopardy earlier on. There was apparently an incident where Aaron went ahead and took the Senate seat of Eliza. Eliza was Alexander Hamilton's wife. So Eliza's dad used to be a senator. Burr took the seat. Apparently, according to the pages in here, there's a bit of a conflict, and Hamilton was not too happy about it. I mean, he took his father-in-law's job. So, I mean, I can see where that'd be an issue at home, Eliza's probably not too happy. So I write on again. There are a couple pages in here that are probably not appropriate. We still come later in 1800. Now, here's an issue. There was the debate. Debates were going on. The election was coming up. Jefferson was running for president against Aaron Burr. Now, the country was deadlocked. We needed to decide who was going to win. We needed some support. They needed someone influential to back one of these candidates. And that influential person turns out Alexander Hamilton. Well, Burr's thinking, I got this one. I got this one unlocked. I saved him in Manhattan. I saved him in the Weeks trial. I helped the kid out when he first came to the country. I helped him out. He's got to back me. He doesn't even like Jefferson. They argue all the time. Of course he's going to back me, he says. Flip over a few more pages. Turns out Hamilton did not back Burr. He actually backed Jefferson. Inappropriate page. Anger. Oof. We're going to skip forward to July 12th, 1804. Now, that date may sound somewhat familiar, but what you might know more is July 11th of 1804. And it was on that day that Mr. Aaron Burr and Mr. Alexander Hamilton met on the banks in New Jersey for a duel. Now, in that duel, Aaron Burr fired a shot that struck Alexander Hamilton. Hamilton later died from the injuries occurred from that shot. But it was on the 12th where Aaron writes, "Now I'm a fugitive. How will history remember me?" Hamilton missed. He fired in the air. I didn't know what to do. He could have changed his mind, because if I too had fired in the air and threw away my shot, he still had the option to reload and fire again. He may have changed his mind. He may have killed me. I don't know why he missed. It is a duel. We have met at these reasons. I had no choice. Now, history will remember me as the villain. They'll forget all the good. They will forget my fight. From hero to zero, I now run in flight. Chilling words from Aaron Burr. Tune in next week when we see what I found in an attic in Deep South Mississippi. Take care now. Bye-bye.